I gotta tell you, the Cher impersonator in this movie really looks exactly like Cher from like 15 years ago.
I think he looks a lot like Cher's wax dummy in the Hall of Wax. I mean, which is not bad, for somebody who's, I don't know, how old is Cher now? 65, 68?
She's in her 60s, yes.
Yeah.
And there's no way that her looking like she does in this movie is in any way natural.
Well, yeah, of course not. I mean, she's made up to the hilt, bunch of different wigs,
soft lit.
Yeah, soft lit.
In fact, it's funny because like she has 2 song numbers in here, but there's no dancing for Cher because if she was to move around too much, parts would start falling off.
Man, the thing about all the plastic surgery and stuff, like most of it, I don't care. I really don't. It doesn't weird me out. I know these things happen. Actually, facelifts are kind of weird.
Yeah.
Just what they do to a face, even especially when men get them, and it makes them like Chinese women. But most of it, the boobs, whatever gets done, liposuction, I don't care. But lips bother me.
Yeah.
Collagen lips never look right at all. And they just fuck up the face.
Yes.
And there's so many places in here where she might be still or not talking. And I go like, you know what? That old broad looks pretty doable. And then she'd talk and move around and I'd be like, well, I don't know. How many beers I got to drink first?
Yeah. Are you sure David Fincher didn't direct this?
No.
It's hard to say if it's a convincing transformation into younger Cher or not, because the fact is I've never thought she was very good looking. She's always been kind of gawky and weird looking to me, plus terrible taste in clothing. But
I'll give you that. There was a time when she was, I don't know, maybe not to you, but I would say certifiably hot.
Okay, fair enough. Certainly lots of other people felt that way, even if most of them were gay. But
right. It is funny that I went to school with a guy who would talk about how he thought Cher was so hot. And then later he came out of the closet. And I just wanted to go to him, dude, what was that show all about? It was really not necessary.
It's not a show. He's just one of those gay men who honestly think Cher is hot. It's like one of those exceptions to the rule. I don't know what it is. I know other gay men in the same way. It's like, no, I have no interest in women at all. Well, okay, except for Cher. It's like, wow, that's just, and it's because she looks like a dude. She always has kind of looked like a dude.
Well, I guess
her voice is real deep, and she's like the greatest actress or singer for female impersonators to do because they don't really have to do anything to their voice.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why this film was.
You know what? You're absolutely right. She puts on tons of makeup, so they're already going to do that. Wow, Cyrus, you have cracked the code.
I know. The elaborate, crazy outfits and everything. I mean, they might have just as well called this Cher the movie, because it's really kind of like Cher expanded out, like all these characters in her mind, like that old show Herman's Head, which no one knows what we're talking about.
Well, now you say that, but we're talking about the movie Burlesque, which is really a showcase for Christina Aguilera.
Sure, and who is surprisingly not too bad.
Well, here's the thing, man. Christina Aguilera has always made me mad because for years I ignored her because I was just like, oh, great, she's the other Britney Spears and I don't have time for this. And she loves to do the whole dressing up with as little as possible and let me show off my body for female empowerment by looking like a whore. And it's like, I don't have to. But then when I ever heard her sing, I was blown away. I was like, Jesus, girl, you got genuine talent.
Yes.
Why are you masking it with all this other bullshit? And, like her first time to get out and act, other than her time with the Mickey Mouse Club, it's not bad. We've seen other singers come out and do these kind of things, Mariah Carey with Glitter.
Sure. I didn't see it.
Yeah. But, there's always these things that are built around a star, and they can't really act, but they get up there and do the best they can. She's not great, but she's not terrible.
No, she's certainly passable as just a straight-up performance. If they gave her some actual dialogue worth saying as opposed to some of the lines actually written for her to say in this movie, which must be played for laughs. It's the only thing I can think of why you would say some of the stuff in here.
So tell us about the plot. What's this movie about?
I just was going to say at the end, the tail end of that is that you're right. She has a voice that just knocks you out here. Wow.
Yeah.
You're waiting for her to sing because she kind of mentions in passing early on, oh, I can just sing. And then when she does, you're like the guy in the Memorex chair,
Yeah. Yeah. And you turn around and you're like, okay, all you other bitches, you're fired. The show's all about her now.
But anyway, okay, so this is basically the first, all right, let's face it. The first 40 minutes of this is Showgirls PG.
Yes.
Is exactly what it is. It's like a Midwest heartland girl gets tired of the bullshit that she has to put up with there and knows she's got star talent in her. So she takes the first bus out of town to the big city, to Hollywood, where she's like, yeah, Hollywood, I'm going to be a star. This is going to be easy. Which, ironically, unlike Showgirls, it actually is pretty easy, all things considered.
That's true. That's true. There's been so many movies like this that show you like, no, you gotta wallow in dirt and filth and probably get chewed up and spit back out to your hometown.
Not here, people.
But for her,
bending over backwards to do whatever her bidding is.
She meets the nicest people in the world.
Yeah.
The people who are hard and crusty, but not really.
No, not at all. She walks right into a burlesque club. Now, the difference between burlesque and a strip club is actually sizable, surprisingly. I mean, burlesque is definitely titillating, as it were, but there's no openly exposed tits.
Well, there are some where that happens, but it's certainly not hands-on.
Sure.
It's more about the show. It's all about the show.
Yeah, it's like old school Vegas dancing, where people are wearing these elaborate, crazy outfits that harken back to an earlier age, and they sing.
Back to vaudeville.
Yeah, they sing, raspy voiced standards. In fact, in this particular club, and I don't know how standard this is, but everybody lip syncs except Cher, of course, who's the star of the show and the owner of the club. Her and her ex-boyfriend, or ex-husband, I'm sorry, played by
Peter Gallagher.
Wormy Peter Gallagher.
A worried Peter Gallagher.
No, wormy.
Oh, I know he's wormy, but he's just so worried looking.
Yeah.
I've never seen that guy look that worried before. It's like you just want to go over to him and give him a hug and a cup of cocoa. Like, it's going to be okay, whatever it is.
Well, she ends up, Christina Aguilera's character, Allie, ends up basically forcing her way in. She asks for a job, and they say, no, you can't have a job. Fuck off. So she just goes and picks up a serving tray and starts serving tables.
Which I was waiting for the waitress who was supposed to have that table come and bash her over the head with a plate.
Seriously, which is what would have actually happened. But it doesn't hurt the fact that she's already gotten the friendship of the gayest, supposedly not gay guy I've ever seen in a film.
Now, to be fair, Cyrus, he only looks gay because they make him wear eyeliner.
Oh, no.
Or guy liner.
That's totally untrue. Many other scenes in the film when he's not at work and not wearing guy liner, he's even gayer.
Okay, well, look at his uniform. It's a vest with no shirt.
Yeah.
And guy liner. You can't win. No one cannot look gay wearing that.
Yeah, the guy is casually in his off time wearing Village People clothing, so don't even start with me, At one point, he's wearing a sailor's hat for no reason at all. And he's shirtless.
Well, maybe he was in the Navy.
Yeah. Anyway, that role's played by Eric Dane, and he bonds. Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, that's not Eric Dane.
That's not Eric Dane. That's
I forgot the guy's name.
I'm not seeing. The character's name is Jack. The actor is Cam Gigandet. Anyway, you won't be seeing much of him. So
we just said his name. It's probably the last time it's ever going to be broadcast.
Exactly. So she becomes friends with him to the point where she actually pretty much tricks him, basically emotionally manipulates him. I know that's not what the script wants us to see, but come on.
Yeah.
Into staying at his house. To the point where eventually, at some point, she kicks him out of his own bedroom and makes him sleep on the couch. How does that work?
Ain't love grand.
Ain't it, though? He's got a fiance, though, who, of course, is somewhere else. She's away doing something that something with art. They're never really clear exactly what the thing is. But he's loyal, because he is, as the movie wants you to know, underlined several times and bolded, a nice guy.
Yeah.
But everyone so far seems pretty nice, right? Like Cher, she's like, the old crusty lady, but she's got a heart of gold underneath, and she's really easy to break through to it. All you have to do is tell her, shut the fuck up and listen to me, and she's like,
I know.
Okay.
She goes like, okay. I know.
I can't believe that works. I would have tried that on my bosses years ago. But, well, to be fair, I did do it to Corey a couple times. It didn't work.
Stanley Tucci goes out on a limb and plays the gay best friend. Something he almost never does, except in every fucking movie he's in these days.
Yeah, the magical gay. He's good at it. I gotta tell you, he in many ways is the thing that kept me from walking out at points when this movie hit lows. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just it has points where you're like, I am so ready for this to fucking be over. But he's got that Tucci energy. He's got that charm that you're like, all right, Stanley, fine, I'll stick around for a little bit longer and see how this plays.
You just kept going, I just loved you so much in The Devil Wears Prada, and you're doing it again. And back when you were Emma Stone's dad, and you weren't supposed to be gay, but we know you really were.
We knew you were gay. You're obviously a method actor, and something got stuck. But there is a villain in this piece, as it were, sort of, and it is the previous head showgirl, Nikki, played by my
Kristen Bell.
beloved Kristen Bell.
Well, okay. Now you talk about how you hated the movie, wanted to walk out. You had to love her dance number in the beginning.
Sure. Well,
I've always thought she was cute, but never hot. I have to change that now.
Yeah, no, I've always thought she was pretty hot. I mean, she was hot with a cute face.
You know what? I got to say right off, she looks much better as a brunette than as a blonde.
Either way, it's fine. She had some magical push-up technology, though.
Well, they all do. They all brag. They sing about it.
Yeah, that's true. But she is kind of a drunk. It's insinuated she's probably got drug issues as well, although this is, like I said, might as well be Disney's Showgirls, so they don't actually come out.
She's the mean girl. She glowers. She tries to sabotage. But she ain't going to the, what's her name? She ain't going the Showgirls route.
No.
Let's say. There ain't, nobody cutting Achilles tendons or throwing pearls and make them drop. She just scowls a lot and tries to say mean stuff.
Yeah, she's a bitch, but she's not like,
she's a bitch with no power.
Yeah, exactly. And she doesn't. And when it turns out that of course, as we know from the beginning, Ali Rose is indeed the main star of this film and becomes the main star of the Burlesque Club, well, there might be some issues with Nikki.
Oh. I guess. I mean, that's the thing with this movie. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, here's the formula. Now that Ali has ascended, Nikki's going to be like dropping lights on her from the skylight and all. But she glowers a lot.
She's got nothing.
She makes some comments, and she kind of fades to the background. I mean, like, when I say she's a bitch with no power, she has so little power, nobody even bothers to retaliate against the stuff she does.
Yeah.
It's not even like they don't know. They're just like, whatever. It's just Nikki.
It's funny because the whole film is kind of that way with any sort of conflict.
Yes.
Everything is so goddamn wishy-washy. Like, there's a whole subplot thing where the club's going to probably get closed down in a while.
Which we never see.
And there's this whole, like, what? Explanation for, like, how they end up fixing it. But even the guy who is, you would think would be kind of the bad guy in this, like, they even flat out say to him, no, you're not a bad guy. What?
Right.
Well, I'm not getting anything from this movie to go with. Work with me here, Burlesque.
Well, Cyrus, maybe they can't win, because if they pushed all the conflict, we'd be like, oh, here we go again with the melodrama. So here they back it off. We go like, wow, that's all you got? Nothing?
Yeah.
But you're right, though, because while they don't have the melodrama, and they back off, but they don't replace it with anything. There's not, there's no intricate subplots there. There's no characters that you follow and really want to see how things work out for them.
Right.
There's just, what? I mean, they put a lot of work into those dance numbers. I wasn't crazy about the way they were filmed because the cuts are so quick. It never really lingers, let you see what anybody can really do. Right. And maybe it didn't look that well, and yet they cut it to make it look better.
Well, it's cut like a music video. It really is. It's really quick cuts. Usually when you get a big musical numbers type film like this, I mean, it wants to show you like these people actually performing. Here, they're moving for half a second. Okay, cut. Move for half a second, cut. That's not watching people dance.
It's not.
At all.
It's
not impressive, no matter what the trappings might be around it.
Right. It does a disservice. And having Christina Aguilera point out the lip syncing that everybody does, I was like, you know what? You're right. That does kind of ruin it. But they keep doing the lip syncing.
What's funny is even when presumably, when the movie says, okay, so now she's actually singing, it still sounds like lip syncing.
Yeah,
like
it does.
It's so badly produced audio-wise with what's going on that it doesn't sound at all like she's singing.
Right.
Maybe it's her performance that she can't get while she's on stage, the same type of like roar that she gets from the actual audio recording of her singing, because that is great.
Yeah.
But hey, what are you going to do? I mean, I think that like this is a film that's going to definitely have its crowd that's going to like it no matter what, which is a shame because, come on, admit to yourself that this crowd I'm speaking to, you went into this film knowing that no matter how bad it was, you were going to like it.
Well, it's funny what you say about that, this crowd that always likes this movie, because I keep thinking, like, man, they keep making this type of movie. We brought up Showgirls a lot, but Coyote Ugly came to mind.
Sure.
This whole girl from the small town, moved to the big city, try to get in show business. It's tough. She meets a guy, fall in love, there's some conflict. We keep seeing it, Honey. I think Honey had the same thing. And it's also like the club or the rec center, something's going to close, and we got to have a big show.
It's a combination of two old, should-be-retired concepts.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't understand why they keep making these movies, because none of them are ever good. I would love to be able to say, like, oh, well, this one isn't as good as, and I don't have something to reach back to.
Well, what's the Judy Garland classic? I'm forgetting the
The
name.
one
of
where
it.
her and Mickey Rooney put on a show.
No. It's and they remade it with Barbra Streisand years and years
Oh,
later.
A Star Is Born.
Yeah, A Star Is Born is kind of the beginning of that whole thing, as far as I know. I mean, not to the degree that it's become that it has tropes now. You know, like none of those tropes were in that. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to believe that this was like the original screenplay of this is by Diablo Cody.
Hey man, it happens to everybody.
I mean, some people only have one good script in them, and having seen this in Jennifer's Body now, I'm like, I don't know. You know, I mean, you would think that the girl who is writing from her experiences supposedly about stripping,
sure,
that she would have something more interesting to say.
How long was she a stripper?
Couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Because, like, Billy Joel is known for the guy, he played at a piano bar. He really got the real experience. I heard him recently. He's like, look, I did it for 6 months as just an experiment. It's not like Johnny Cash going to Folsom Prison, which even he, it was like, I got picked up on a drunk drive on a traffic stop.
Yeah, he was there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm only cutting Diablo Cody slack because of United States of Terror. I'm like, all right, I would have wrote you off if I didn't love that show so much. You know what? And for everything we said, it's not a good movie. I just couldn't bring myself to hate it. I never even felt like walking out. It was just one of those where I'm just like, it's just so middling. It's not quite enough to be so bad that it's good, but it can't be good enough to go, oh, I appreciate the artistry of it. It just hangs there in the middle, and it's the kind of movie where if it was on, I'm not going to be like necessarily jumping up to turn it off unless there's something else good on. I don't know. It just came out as a rental to me. I just can't dogpile on it.
That's funny. I thought you were going to, the way you're talking, you were going to be a little higher than that even. At least in the words you're saying, I can't be as fair to it as that, because that's one of my least favorite type of movies. Like, you're not giving me anything to celebrate.
Sure.
And you're not dwelling in the depths enough to be fun. Really, you're neither. You're not offering anything. There's like maybe one or two songs in here that are kind of entertaining musically, but even they're nothing that you're going to walk out of there like humming or tapping your foot.
You know what? That's
to.
what I kept thinking. Like, for all these songs, there's none of them that I'm humming after they go off.
And the thing is, this property, I'm sorry, I don't know what they, how they say it and how they say, oh, no, it was written this way, but please, this was written for gay female impersonators. It totally was. Try and imagine this whole film, if you actually see it, with like men instead of women in all the world, except for Cher, of course, who's
you got to keep
supposed
Cher
to be there.
Yeah.
And it makes much more sense that way. It totally does.
Dude, that is such a Carlisle thing to say. But in this case, it's absolutely accurate.
It's apt as hell.
Yeah.
I said that to Coast and Corey, and they're both like, Jesus Christ, you're so totally right.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be that way, and I would be shocked, I tell you, if that wasn't the case in some early version of this script. The best I can give this, and this is probably being kind, is a low rental. Like I said, I didn't hate it. I was just bored by it. There's nothing special
It
here.
does go on too long.
Yeah. Oh wow, does it? I think it's over 2 hours. In fact.
It's not quite, but it comes right up on 2 hours.
It's close enough to where you're just champing at the bit to get out of there. I know I was. I mean, I left when the closing number wasn't quite over. I was like,
same
come
here.
on, that's enough. I'm getting the fuck out of
here. And the closing number is just not that great. It's no better than anything they've done early. Matter of fact, it's no better than the very first number you see when you walk in.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is you're better off just. This will be the first time anyone has ever said this, but you're better off watching Showgirls.
Ooh.